Hi guys, welcome back to another video. First of all, I would like to start off by saying that I know the title of this video is very scandalous, but I mean, what can I say? People these days just like scandalous stuff, and who am I if not the most scandalous person out there, right? But the reality is that in this week's video, I will be sharing with you all my tips and tricks that I've gathered throughout my very long 19 years of life on how to maintain your life put together, to maintain your sanity, and to just, be productive, the best version of yourself. So without anything else to say, let's get this video started. I have created a list on Notion, obviously on Notion. I'm gonna keep mentioning this app throughout this whole entire video because I just love them and I really want to get sponsored by them, and I feel like if I keep mentioning them, eventually they will notice me. So this list on Notion of things that I would like to share with you guys that I generally use in my daily life, that I generally swear by. So my first section of this video is called organization and time management. I love time management. I love organization, like literally, and this might be a little insane, but my life is organized in calendars, in to-do lists, in like time blocking calendars. It's insane the amount of organization that I have, but it generally helps me so much with my productivity, but also keeping myself sane and being like on top of everything that I have to do. And a big thing for me is to never let other people down, but also not to let myself down. So this way I feel like I'm able to accomplish everything that I have to do. I feel like I'm doing what I have to do in the moment. I'm not wasting my time. I'm being productive. I also allocate time for relaxation, but I also don't let other people down, especially when I have like responsibilities. I do not want to be irresponsible. I do not want to have people waiting on me and then me bailing on them. So organization is very important. My tips are Notion, I already mentioned them, and I will make a whole entire video dedicated on how I use my Notion and how I organize my pages, because it's a whole art. And I recommend this app to every single person that I ever meet, and they're always like, I need to know how to use it. I'm like, I got you. So I will make a video about it, but technically this is my Notion page that I used every day. As you can see, I have my college and life, which has my calendar. It also has my schedule. It also has stuff for the future. I also like to plan a lot for the future, not because you should always have everything exactly planned out. You should let some freedom for life to happen, but it's very important to have a vision, so I always use my Notion for that too, to organize my visions. I also have my daily to-do list, which I generally go through every single Sunday before I go to bed, and I write down every single thing that I have to do that week, and then when I get it done, I cross it out, and it's so satisfying. It helps me keep track of my time and also generally feel like I'm getting stuff done, but also not miss any of my assignments or stuff like that, which I keep mentioning. I also have this very interesting page that's called Books to Read in 2023. It's about to be 2025 and I haven't updated this in a while because I haven't really had that much time. But the theory behind this is that I make a list of every single book that I want to read for this year, and then I put it in my reading column whenever I'm reading them, and then I pass them to my complete column whenever I finish reading them. These books, I probably read them back in 2023, like It Ends With Us. It's been a while since I haven't even seen a Colleen Hoover book. So, but that was the idea behind it, always keeping everything organized, keeping track of my goals and stuff like that. So I just love Notion, and it's such an aesthetic app, and you can also set up like reminders and everything. I will genuinely dive deep into how I use my Notion to prioritize, or like not prioritize, to be very productive and effective and organized. My second thing is Google Calendar. I recently started doing Google Calendar, and especially because of this tool or setting that allows you to create this like kind of time blocked calendar, so you're able to see every single day and how much time you're allocating to a certain activity. So let's say I have yoga from 12 to 1, so you can visually see the time blocking, like I'm in yoga from 12 to 1, but then I am free from 1 to 2 or stuff like that. So I'm also able to see when I have time to chill, when I have time to eat, when I have time to sign up for more things. And it also again helps me keep more of like a visual organization of what I'm doing. I don't bail on anyone. I also don't feel like I'm never like getting anything done, but also I don't feel like I'm running out of time constantly. And especially this helps me a lot see whenever I am free, because it's good to breathe free sometimes. It's good to take a couple of hours for yourself, a couple of hours to eat, a couple of hours to just chill. So this helps me a lot do that, because I have the bad habit of signing up for too many things, and then sometimes I even forget that I have to eat. So this helps a lot. Another thing is keeping a physical calendar. As you can see, I have mine right there. This one is really good because it's a constant reminder of things that I have to do or special dates. I have my friends' birthdays there, my family's birthdays. I have holidays, or I don't know, stuff like that in general, appointments. And it's a good reminder of everything that it just kind of like is there for me to see, because my Notion calendar or my Google calendar, I have to open the app to see it. But this one, I wake up in the morning, I turn my lights on, and it's right there flashing me with all the things I have to do, which is good, because sometimes I literally forget the things I have to do until like a day or two before. I'm like, whoa, I almost forgot about that, because life can get very, very like hectic, and sometimes you even forget what day you're in. So that is really good. I'm also able to like cross out the days, and it's also really cute. I printed those out from the internet. I'm gonna link them down below, because this year is also about to end, so you might as well start printing your calendar for next year. So those are my tips for organization and time management. But now it's time to also talk about well-being. I have been kind of hinting to this throughout this video, but I've mentioned that it's also important to be healthy. It's not good to take any sort of habit to an extreme. Like, it's not healthy to just study for hours and hours and hours on end. Like, you need to just exist sometimes. You just need to talk to some people sometimes. You just need to eat lunch sometimes. Like, that is normal. And I feel like, at least for me, in my very personal opinion, and not opinion, experience, I sometimes had the really bad habit of like being very, very strict with myself to a point that was not healthy. Ultimately, well-being and having your life together is not just about being productive and having amazing time management. It's also about being sane, about being healthy, about being happy. So this next section is a little bit more about that, and the ways that now, starting college and starting this like new era of my life, I've discovered ways that I've discovered to keep myself healthy, happy, and sane. My first tip is to create a routine. I think that routines are very important, and maybe you can see a certain pattern. I love things to be organized, and technically routines are kind of organizing methods or organizing mechanisms and systems. But I think it's real important to have a healthy routine, because you can also have a very unhealthy routine and just overall have a healthy, unhealthy lifestyle. So what I mean by this, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing that you should not do is go on your phone. And I am guilty of this. I quite literally did that this morning. I wake up and I go on my phone. That is not healthy, but it's become part of my routine. When you wake up, you should also, for me at least, I always make my bed. I always get myself ready. I always eat breakfast. I always pack my lunch. Like, those are things that are part of my routine, that I have built into my routine, that have allowed me to have a healthier and more balanced lifestyle. For example, something just as easy as getting up and making my bed just automatically like activates myself, gets me in this mindset of like, okay, time to get the day started. Don't be lazy. Take things for what they are, have the best attitude possible, make your bed, and go and conquer this day. And another thing about having a good routine is also like this kind of mindset. It like starts getting you activated, starts getting you into a certain like mindset, and it's really good, because you can also do it the opposite way. You could have a really bad routine that then gets you into a bad mood, and then into a bad mindset, and just overall drains you. So it's really, really good to start setting up good routines, because eventually those will become your habits, and your habits become the person that you are. This next subtopic, or the next thing that I would recommend to you, is mindfulness. In general, creating a mindful routine to live a mindful life. And kind of intertwining both of these topics, a lot of your routine, and how I mentioned, determines, or it starts setting your habits, and your habits start setting who you become and the person that you are and the type of thoughts that you have and the environment that surrounds you. And mindfulness kind of has to become part of your routine to become a habit. You have to make time in your life to become aware of things that are around you. I recently started, I signed up for mindfulness courses. I took 4 classes. I also read a book about mindfulness, and this whole idea of being aware, being in the present moment, and building it into your routine, and eventually becoming a mindful person, a person that does things aware that they're doing them and what is going on. And it eventually becomes this kind of like habit that makes you a positive person, that makes you a grateful person, that makes you a grounded person, that makes you calm, you inspire peace. So I feel like this is really good for well-being because it goes beyond being productive. It also becomes part of your character, part of this kind of view that you have into the world. And it genuinely changed my life. I took 4 classes. It was for a whole month. Every Friday I read the book, and it automatically kind of like unlocked something in me. I was like, why? How did I go about my life not knowing this, not being this aware, not being this mindful about the things that I'm doing? And it's something so easy as like being mindful of yourself making your breakfast this morning. Like, look at the things that are happening that you're not aware of. You are alive, you're breathing, you're moving, you have food, you have electricity, you have water, you're able to cook, you're able to season, you're able to taste your food. Like all those things that go completely unnoticed, thanks to mindfulness, they become part of your reality, or the reality that you're aware of. So to me, building into this routine, a mindfulness approach to things is incredibly important, and I feel like it genuinely shifts your whole like perspective and really changes the way you view things, but also yourself in general, and eventually your life and your habits and the way you approach problems and the people that you attract and the vibe that you give off. It's really insane. I still want to learn more about it, and I will definitely make a video about it. But yeah, mindfulness it's definitely the way to go. Meditation. Up next, we have do things that fuel you. Well, how can I start? I saw this TikTok that was titled like your dopamine menu or something like that. And it was technically the idea that you have to be aware of the things that bring happiness to you. And they can be really simple things like I enjoy eating cookies. For example, for me, I love eating chocolate. Going out and buying like a chocolate croissant makes me so happy. Or like I love buying coffee sometimes. Of course, it's not always great to spend your money, to like spend too much money on overpriced coffee, but that makes me happy, and it's okay to go out to a cafe every now and then. Deep conversations make me happy. Yoga makes me happy. Reading a good book makes me happy. Spending an afternoon with my mom watching rom-coms makes me happy. The thing is, or my point being, you need to kind of make this menu of the things that give you dopamine and do them more often. And sometimes I feel like we force ourselves a lot to do things that we don't want to do, maybe because of like the status quo, or because we think that everyone is doing, so we have to do it. But you just need to take a moment and kind of be mindful of yourself and really kind of take an inwards look and be like, okay, I love watching sports with my dad. I love talking about politics with my friends. I love painting. I love watching the sunset. I love going on walks. I love petting dogs, whatever it is. But that brings you true and genuine joy, and build those things into your routine. For example, I have discovered that I love doing yoga. It genuinely makes me so happy, and I have built it into my routine by finding fitness classes that fit my schedule, and I just go. And it fuels me, it makes me happy, it makes me be active, it makes me like feel good with my body, like I feel strong, I feel flexible, and overall just contributes to my well-being. So you have to figure out what are those things that make you happy, make you feel fueled and energized, and then build those things into your routine, because it's very easy to sometimes lose that happiness or that awareness of what makes you happy because you're doing so many things that you think you should be doing, but the reality is that you should do whatever makes you happy. And my last point for the well-being section is to surround yourself with positivity. As I mentioned, well-being is, or as I see it, a very holistic type of thing. It's not just about being skinny or super strong or super physically healthy. There is also a lot of things that are mental, and we forget a lot about this, like 2 dimensions that constitute us. But you need to be in a place that waters you, that gives you sun, that gives you nutrients. Like, you cannot be in a place where you're being drained and then expect to flourish. And to me, positivity is such an important thing. Surrounding yourself with those people that always have something positive to say, always have a smile on their face. And even if things get hard, the truth about positivity is not always being happy and not having anything that bothers you. Like, that is so incredibly unrealistic. That is not how life works. But the thing about positivity is holding on to good things. Even despite that everything looks bad, always trying to fight to hold on to the good things. And a personal anecdote is I recently went through some kind of rough things, and I was generally not feeling good. I was generally not feeling like myself. I felt like I had lost my spark. And in that moment, I also felt kind of bad because I wasn't being able to be my peppy self. I wasn't being able to be super happy and energetic. But the truth is that I felt horrible, and I kind of felt like I had failed my positive self because I was not being super happy all the time. And then I realized that I was not going to be able to be happy, or I couldn't expect myself to be happy because I didn't feel great. But the reality is that I was still trying to be positive, looking at the good things despite feeling bad. And I feel like that is kind of like the energy that you always need. You need those that will be happy for you and will celebrate your wins as if they were theirs. You just need to have this, like, and I'm gonna use a word that's probably gonna be kind of funny, but aura. Like, you need positive aura. You need to be surrounded by positive people that just make you happy. And how I mentioned, not every day is gonna be perfect and absolutely amazing, rainbows and sunshine and butterflies. But the thing is to have this constant energy of better, or like improvement, this constant energy of love, this constant energy of gratefulness, and it will just make you feel so much better because you will be working on yourself, surrounded by people that also work on themselves, and it's just going to be this environment that gives you an opportunity to grow and to bloom and to explore the world in the best way possible. That got a little too deep, but perfect timing because it's our moment to talk about our last section of this video, which I titled Creating New Habits. I feel like when I wrote this list, I was thinking a lot about like how to improve yourself through your daily actions, which is really good because progress is made day by day. You have to take step at a time. It's not like magical, just kind of happens. It's built through habits. So good job, Lucero, when you wrote this list of things. But my first topic here is take time for yourself. I recently went, well, not recently, it was probably like a month ago. I went to a book conference, Water on Fire by Tariq Eraris, I think. This book. I still need to read it, and I need to bring my book reviews back, but I haven't had that much time to read, and the only books that I've read is like statistics books and like introduction to American government books. I don't think people on the internet really want to hear me yap about that, but I'm working towards reading more books, so hopefully I'll be able to bring to you another book review next February, because I think I'm gonna do it yearly. Anyway, the thing is, I went to this book conference for this book that I hope I'm able to read eventually, Water on Fire. And the author mentioned this concept of, or this idea that in order for you to comprehend things and to truly kind of like accept them, you need to sit with them. And to sit with them is to contemplate your reality, contemplate yourself, and give time to yourself. And the first section of this video talked a lot about time management and productivity and organization. But in order to be able to give your 100%, you also need to charge yourself. And those moments that you need to charge yourself come when you're quiet, when you're just contemplating life, when you're just existing and letting things take their space, processing them and letting them sink. And in this book, he made this analogy of war times when they didn't have water. So they had to collect water in plastic jugs or plastic containers, but it was dirty water. So what they had to do was let it sit, and all impurities would eventually go to the bottom. And they would technically still be part of the bottle, like there was no way of getting them out. But the water was now clean because all those impurities were now part of the bottom. And he thinks that we are like those bottles. Like we can't just extract some things. Like they're part of us. And a lot of the things that have hurt us and a lot of our experiences, they're part of us. And there's this kind of idea that you also need to appreciate them, like the things that have built you, but you need to let them sit in order for them to not interrupt you anymore, in order to not define you anymore, in order to not create some more chaos. They have to coexist with the clean water in you. And in order to achieve this, you need to just take time for yourself and question yourself, understand who you are, your motivations. And I think that is very important because, how I mentioned, you cannot be super productive and always be great and always do everything if you do not know who you are, if you do not know what motivates you, if you do not just take time to charge yourself and question all these things, like what makes me happy, what makes me not be so happy, or who are the people that make me happy. All these things that you do kind of need to contemplate will only happen when you're by yourself. And it's super important to start appreciating that time that you have with yourself. Maybe it's a new realization that I had now that I started college, I'm a little older, but you spend a lot of time by yourself. You are actually kind of like the only person that you will always have, the only person that will always be with you through everything, and the only person that knows everything that you've been through. So learning to appreciate that state of just self, existence with yourself, is really important, and it will unlock a lot of things. And I guess it also goes hand in hand with like mindfulness. So I encourage you to take some time to just be by yourself. And last but I have two more things that you should incorporate as new habits in your life. First is read and journal. A lot of these concepts that I'm sharing with you today, as you can tell and as I have mentioned, they came from books. I'm a person that I just love reading. Clearly, if not, I would not be studying government. I would probably be doing engineering or something. But books, to me, they always teach you something. Every time I finish a book, I'm like, this changed my life. And how I mentioned in my book review back in February, almost a year ago, Just Mercy changed my life. Evicted changed my life. Born a Crime changed my life. So it's really, really good to expose yourself to those new ideas. And they really question you sometimes. They're very like intense. Sometimes I've done some readings and I'm like, I literally have to like close the book because I'm like, whoa, why did they just question my whole entire reality? So I really, really encourage you to make reading your habit. Back when I was younger, maybe like 6th grade or something, I read so many rom-coms. So even if reading a rom-com is your thing, it helps you improve your grammar and also your English or your vocabulary. Reading helped me a lot, expand my vocabulary. So reading, it has so many benefits. But now that I'm older, and I'm guessing most of my demographic is also around my age because I've seen my statistics on YouTube, it's really good to expand your horizons of things that you think are realities, because reading expands your view. We live very close. We are restrained to the context in which we exist. And reading sometimes exposes you to different things, to different ideas, to different times, to different theories. And it's generally amazing. But also writing, because I think, and I am taking a course, Writing for Resilience, and they are kind of juggling with this idea that it's always worth it to share your experience. It's always everyone always has something important to say and something important to add. It also allows for you to have this moment of self-reflection, but through words. And at least to me, writing is so important, words are so important. It's kind of this artistic pursuit, and I love words. I feel like they're just so fun, so like intricate. You can create so many things with words, and practicing reading and writing is incredibly important. Maybe I'm just saying this because I'm a humanities person and I just have a deep passion for this, but I do think that if there's just a piece of advice to take from this, practice your reading and your writing. It's really good. Employers really like that. And my actual last tip of the video is motivation. Yay! Finally, we're into the last part, which is using Pinterest or creating vision boards or manifestation lists, whatever or motivation looks like to you. At least for me, in my very personal perspective and experience and opinion, Pinterest is one of the best social medias out there. I just love Pinterest so much. It makes just life so much fun. You can just go around, pin whatever inspires you, kind of have this active exercise of looking towards the future, kind of what you want to do and who you want to be and what things inspire you and motivate you, the vibe that you want to give off. I just really love it. I have a bunch of Pinterest boards, I think. Yeah, Pinterest boards. I also have Pinterest if you want to follow me there. So, without anything else to say, that is it for this video. I have been talking for 30 minutes. My camera is probably running out of more battery and more space, but it was really lovely to spend this Tuesday morning with you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, giving some of your time to me. I really hope you found this entertaining, inspiring, somewhat useful, whatever, just a good use of your time. And if you end up using any of this, please let me know in the comments. If you just want to comment anything, go ahead and do it. I respond to all of your comments. And without anything else to say, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to subscribe on the little red button. Follow me on all my social media. Leave any comments, as I mentioned. And I will see you guys next week. Bye bye.